Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Chef Rich. Today we have a very special video for you. You will actually learn more about cooking from this video than watching 100 other videos. So I've been cooking now for, next month is my 39th anniversary of working in professional food service. So I've been cooking for a while, obviously. I'm a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America. I've worked at the Hotel Pierre in Manhattan. I worked at the Parker Meridian Hotel, both 3- and 4-star restaurants respectively. I've been catering for well over 20 years, and I've worked in a bunch of other restaurants throughout my career. So I am a relatively experienced chef. So when you eat, there are four very distinct things that happen when you put something in your mouth. Four things that are happening simultaneously while you eat. And most people don't actually realize this. I've never seen a video done on it. I've never seen it on a TV show or read it in a textbook. But it is what I'm saying. When you think about it, it's going to make perfect sense to you. So the four things. The first thing is temperature. What do I mean by temperature? There's obviously hot food being served hot and cold food being served cold. But the other thing that happens is eating something like a warm brownie sundae, where the brownie is warm and the ice cream is obviously cold. And while they're totally opposite, they come together like yin and yang in your mouth, and they just work together. The hot and cold just comes together and works great. And there's a lot of other foods that are like that. The second part of eating any type of food is doneness, any type of cooked food, I should say, is the doneness of cooked food. If you like steak and you like steak medium rare and they give it to you well done, you probably won't be very happy. If you're a vegan and I give you a piece of broccoli that has been cooking for 10 minutes and is like mush, once again, you're probably not going to be very happy. If you're using it for baby food, maybe. But if you want to eat it, most people like vegetables with a crunch. They like their steak cooked a certain way. Most people like chicken that is fully cooked, but not overcooked and dry. So the doneness of food has a lot to do with how food tastes. Third thing is texture. And texture is actually a very big one. You don't realize how many people either don't like certain foods because of texture or absolutely love foods because of certain texture. As far as eating something like a potato chip, the crunch of a potato chip has a very unique texture. If you eat a chocolate truffle that has a very hard outside and a soft inside, there's a contrast in the textures, and once again, that gives a very unique sensation in your mouth. Some people like the texture of cake with frosting. Maybe one of those people, but that's besides the point. The last thing, and to me the very most important, is the flavor of food. Like obviously I can go into like the 4 or 5 different flavors that your tongue experiences, but that's not what this video is about. I want to actually teach you how to taste. As a caterer, I've been catering for, like I said, well over 20 years, and I've had numerous, literally hundreds of conversations with people about cooking, because that's what I talk about. And the number one thing that I hear from housewives or home cooks are either A, I don't know what to add to make my food good, or I don't know what it's missing. And that's what this video is about. What to add or what is it missing. So you will really enjoy this if you try this. I do suggest, I will have all the ingredients listed down below. I do suggest you try this once, maybe twice, and maybe 3 times. And when you cook, really try to think about what I've said in this video. And I promise you, the way you cook, and cook anything, I mean, your cooking game will just explode exponentially. So let's jump right in. I have a couple different things over here. I have some olive oil. I have some bread. This is just like an Italian bread that I've sliced. But if you are gluten-free, you can use cucumber instead of bread. I have some salt, I have some pepper, I have some lemon, I have a little bit of chopped garlic, and I have 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. Let's jump right in, and we're going to go through an exercise. And this exercise is to teach you how to taste, because making good food is about making food taste good. If you eat just a very plain piece of chicken without any seasoning, does it taste okay? Yeah, but it's probably pretty bland. Eat some rice without any seasoning, once again, very bland. Obviously, I've poured some olive oil on my plate. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of bread and we're going to dip it in the olive oil. And this is just to get the flavor of the olive oil. If you're doing this at home, You want to leave it on your tongue and really, really learn the flavor of the olive oil that you're using. It should be a better quality olive oil. Okay, so once you have that flavor in your mouth, the next thing you're going to do is just take some salt. You can use regular salt, Himalayan salt, kosher salt, sea salt. Use whatever type of salt you want, whatever you like. And we're just going to sprinkle some salt in here. Not a lot, don't go crazy. And then we're going to take a spoon and just mix it up. And I'm going to take another piece of bread and taste it. By the way, when you use bread, try to use a relatively neutral flavor bread. Don't use anything that has a strong flavor or a lot of seeds, something that has a neutral flavor. So at this point, you should taste the olive oil and the salt. Now, one of three things are going to happen. A, it's going to be too salty. If it's too salty, you're going to add a little bit more olive oil to dilute it. B, it's not salty enough. And it shouldn't be salty like a potato chip. You should taste the salt, but it shouldn't be like a strong flavor of salt. The third thing that can happen is it's just right. You can taste the salt a little bit, but it's not overpowering. And that's really what you're looking for. Just, salt is what we call a flavor enhancer, meaning it brings out the flavor of other foods. You ever bake, you make brownies and you put a pinch of salt in there? Why do you put salt in something sweet? It actually brings up the flavor of other foods. Anyway, so we're going to put some pepper in here. A little bit. And we're going to stir it. And once again, we're going to taste it. When you taste it, you should hopefully taste the olive oil. You should taste a light salt, and you should taste some pepper. It's very important that you're honest with yourself. If you don't taste one of those three things, you have to adjust it. You can add more oil if it's too strong. Add more salt if it's not strong enough. Add more pepper, or make whatever adjustments you need. Put a little bit more pepper. When you're eating it, you should taste the balance of pepper, salt, and olive oil. That's good. Next thing we're going to taste is we're going to add some chopped garlic. I have some very, very finely chopped garlic. Most people don't like it's raw garlic. Most people don't like a big chunk of raw garlic when they're eating. And at this point, you should obviously taste salt, pepper, and garlic. The reason why this exercise is important, when I taste food, whatever I'm making, and I put it in my mouth, actually try to zoom in on the salt, zoom in on the pepper, zoom in on the garlic, zoom in on whatever flavorings are in it. And that's pretty good. I taste salt, I taste pepper, I taste garlic. The next thing, I have half a lemon. I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in here. By the way, the seasonings that I'm using are probably some of the most basic and common seasonings in savory food. Salt, pepper, garlic, lemon. Give this a nice mix. Now I put a drop too much lemon in there, so I'm not gonna start from scratch, but I'm gonna add just a drop of olive oil, dilute the lemon. And I'm gonna put just a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and a pinch of garlic. And give this a mix. And once again, I should get a nice balance of all those flavors. Balance is the single most important thing. That's good. Really good. Always have some water next to you. You can rinse out your mouth. Next thing. So I'm just using some thyme, which is a very, very basic spice. Probably about 5 years ago, I was asked to cater a Moroccan party. Now, between me and you, I know a little bit less than nothing about Moroccan food, but I took this party. Fortunately, it was a small party for only about 200 people, where I had to make different types of tangine and all types of Moroccan food. So what do I do? Because I'm not familiar with Moroccan flavors. Well, I started to read about the spices and the spices that they're using, but I'm not used to those combinations. How do you learn spice combinations that you're not familiar with? Everyone's familiar with salt, pepper, garlic, and lemon. But what do you do for other spices? So I have, like I said, a little bit of fresh thyme. The first thing that you're going to do, if you're making a dish that you've never made before, take whatever the spice that you're not familiar with. Maybe you're not familiar with cardamom or clove or, anything, the saffron. Take a little bit of either fresh or dried. Don't put a lot because some spices are very, very strong. I'm going to put this on my tongue and literally just suck on it for about 20 seconds. Just let it just sit on my tongue. Let the flavors kind of marinate in my mouth. as it's moving around on my tongue, like it's hitting different taste areas, and I'm learning the flavor of thyme. Once you've done that, for this particular exercise, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some thyme leaves and we're gonna put it into our mix. And at this point, you should know the flavor of thyme. And if you don't feel you know the flavor of thyme, then suck on it again for another 20 to 30 seconds. So we're gonna try it again. And try to make sure that you have some garlic, you have some thyme. I obviously have some pepper. It's a little bit more thyme. When you're cooking for yourself, it's not that it doesn't make a difference, but you're not trying to impress somebody else. When you're a professional chef and you're feeding other people will say to me, I don't know what other people like. And no one knows what other people like. But the fact of the matter is, if the seasoning that you use are all in balance, there's a 98% chance that most people will like what you cook. And that has a nice balance now. When you get the right balance, your taste buds will dance with excitement. I mean, literally, your taste buds are just so happy when you hit the right balance when you cook. And I'm sure everyone that's watching this has eaten something that has just brought a smile to their face because it's been so good, so delicious. And that works because things are in balance, generally speaking. One other thing that you can do, I have some diced cucumber. You can use some cherry tomato. I'm just gonna mix some cucumber in and taste it with some cucumber and see how it tastes. Anyway, as I started to say, you should always be objective when you cook. Meaning, I know you're making it and you want it to be perfect because you're making it, but the best chefs are the ones that are a little bit objective and can taste something and say, this isn't right, it needs more, whatever it needs. It's really good, really, really good. I taste the thyme, I taste the garlic, I taste the lemon, I taste the salt, and I taste the pepper. Nice balance. And that's what you're looking for when you cook. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. More importantly, I hope you'll actually try this. Don't just try it one time. To learn flavoring, to learn how to taste food, whatever it is that you're making, when you put it in your mouth, look at your ingredient list. Salt, pepper, garlic, paprika, rosemary, whatever you're using. And as you taste, do you taste the salt? Do you taste the pepper? Do you taste the lemon? Do you taste the garlic? Do you taste the thyme? And once you start to taste like that, you'll really learn the flavors of food. And like I said, your cooking game will go up exponentially. I mean, it'll just go from here to here very, very quickly. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you'll share it with your friends and even watch it over 1 or 2 times to see what I've done and learn how to cook a little bit better. And I will see you in the next video. Take care and have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.